It is insulting that you would consider such action about a forgotten community that none of you live in.
Developing tonight, outbursts and outrage at a community meeting in South Shore over a housing plan for migrants.
The debate comes as the city deals with the crisis of where to put migrants bussed in from the border.
Elizabeth Matthews is live now with more. Elizabeth.
Corey and Don, contentious to say the least. This forum was a chance for city leaders to get input from the public about the old South Shore High School housing migrants. The city got their input. A packed house at the South Shore International College Prep High School. The crowd voicing their opinion, strongly opposing the addition of migrants in their community.
I am just outraged. I'm outraged, and I don't understand why our community was chosen.
City representatives saying the old South Shore High School would not be a shelter, but one of 3 respite centers for the migrants to temporarily sleep, eat, and take a shower, starting with about 250 people taking up the building's first floor. This is a way for the city to get the current 300 migrants out of the police stations. Questions were asked, but answers hard to hear, interrupted by the upset crowd. Before the meeting, a small protest of South Shore neighbors demanding the energy put into the migrant issue be put into their neighborhoods.
It is a slap in the face that we as citizens of the United States of America do not have the resources and support, but you're going to bring people who are not citizens here in our community, in our buildings that we pay taxes for, that you took away from us. Yeah. That is completely unacceptable. We are in a humanitarian crisis right now. The black people in Chicago are bleeding on the streets.
Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson had this to say about the migrant crisis.
We have a responsibility to make sure that families who are seeking love and support here in the city of Chicago and throughout the state of Illinois, that they are not just welcome, but they are serviced.
So is this a done deal? A spokesperson for Mayor Lori Lightfoot's office says this is a possible solution, but still a fluid situation. Reporting live tonight, Elizabeth Matthews, Fox 32, Chicago.
So what's up, y'all? I hope y'all having a good night. I'm upstairs with it tonight. The neighbors had something going on, so I'm upstairs with it. But yeah, I know y'all been hearing a lot about this. The migrants crossing the border. I know y'all heard about Title 42 expiring, and I'm gonna look it up for you just to explain it in better terms. So give me 1 second, y'all. So if y'all did not know what Title 42 was, let me look it up real quick just so y'all know. So y'all know what it is before we get into everything. Okay, so basically, Title 42 was passed during COVID. And basically what Title 42 did, basically it was the national COVID-19 public health emergency. And basically what it did, it stopped migrants from coming over across the border because of, we had the whole COVID lockdown and everything. And it was passed by Donald Trump. Now, since Title 42 is expiring, we have a lot of migrants flooding the borders. Like they're coming to cross over the borders. In Texas, you even have some in California as well. The borders of Southern California. So You have all these type of migrants coming over. These are illegal aliens. They don't have citizenship here, and it's not just like people of Hispanic descent. It's from all over. You have people from Nigeria, people from India. You have people from all over just flooding the borders, and this is a very bad thing because we're already on the brink of an economic collapse. They already talking about we're not going to have no money by June 1st. We're going to run out of money. So now that we have all these migrants coming over, flooding the border, we're going to lose even more of our resources. And not only that, the people that's paying taxes here are going to have to pay to house those migrants. All our tax dollars are going to house these migrants. And not only that, they just dumping people in different neighborhoods. So this is most definitely going to be detrimental for the Black community. That's why before this election even started, Dr. Claude Anderson was saying that if Black people do not get reparations, it will be detrimental for us. And that's why a lot of us in the grassroots was saying, hey, if they're not trying to give us anything for our vote, let's hold our votes. Let's think strategically. Let's not just give our vote away for no reason. But the thing is, a lot of Black people, they were going off of emotion and just trying to get Trump out of office. And we were trying to tell y'all, like, hey, you know, hey, just because we getting Trump out of office, what is the difference going to be? And I always got the same argument about the lesser two evils. You got to choose the lesser two evils. And the thing is, to be honest, Trump would have been the lesser two evils, because if you look at it like this, and I'm neither Democrat or Republican. I vote for who has the best interest for Black people. That's who I vote for. And if nobody is doing anything for Black people, then I hold my vote. I just vote in the local elections because that directs us, that impacts us directly. But we was trying to tell y'all, like, hold y'all vote. But y'all like, nah, let's get Trump out of office. Let's get him out of office. Y'all was all for the symbolism. Y'all wanted to get him out of office so bad. And when Joe Biden and Kamala was nominated, y'all was so happy, talking about the Chucks and pearls and everything. I had the Chucks and pearls, y'all was wearing them. All symbolic stuff. All symbolic stuff. But if you look at it like this, and if you was actually thinking strategically, you would have thought like this. Well, with Trump, yes, we do have to deal with white wing, white supremacy. Yes, we're going to have to deal with that. But at least it's out and open. They're open and they're blatant about it, and we see what it is. We're not getting rocked to sleep. But when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, when they got nominated, a lot of Black people got rocked back to sleep. Y'all got rocked right back to sleep. Because y'all thought it was gonna be different because you had a because you had a Democratic president. When Joe Biden is just as racist as Donald Trump, if not racist, because he actually put in policies that actually damaged the black community. The 1994 crime bill. He was one of the main people pushing that law. They got a lot of us locked up. They caused the mass incarceration to increase in the black community. But now, if you look at it, we're still getting killed by race soldiers. Not only that, we still getting killed by the white supremacists. Not only that, now we also have to deal with we have to deal with all these model minority groups that try to undermine black people. That Hispanic man who shot up the who did the mass shooting in Texas, he identified as a white supremacist. So now we got to deal with all these immigrant white supremacists that's used to undermine us. We're gonna have to deal with these Hispanic white supremacists. And I'm not putting all immigrants or Hispanics, or if you're a different ethnic group. I'm not saying y'all all do this, but a lot of them that come over here do this. We're gonna have to deal with the Asians that come over here and undermine us. We're gonna have to deal with the people that's the same color as us that come over here and undermine us. The Africans, the Haitians, the Jamaicans. A lot of them are used to undermine us as well. They side with white supremacy. And like I said, not all of them, but it's a lot of them that do. And not only that, you have to look at this. They're going to use a lot of these migrants for cheap labor. So why pay us for a job that's supposed to be worth like 20 something an hour when you can pay them the bare minimum, because they're not even really legal, and in their country that's going to be a lot of money anyways. So you can pay them $7-8 an hour when it's really supposed to be a job that's 20 something an hour, but hey, they can send money back home to their family and it'd be worth a whole bunch. So a lot of these lower level jobs, these warehouses, these hotel jobs, these general labor jobs, even these a lot of these construction jobs, because a lot of these construction jobs pay decent, but if they look and see and say, hey, we can get a lot cheaper labor with them, that's gonna put a lot of black people out of jobs. And not to mention, we're already ignored, and we pay taxes. A lot of things in our neighborhood don't get fixed up like it's supposed to be. We don't get the resources we need. We have the least amount of resources, the least amount of wealth, a half of 1% of wealth, and it's suspected to go to zero. So with them coming in, we just gonna be completely destroyed, because they already put everybody over us in the first place. So this is going to be detrimental for black people. That's why we try to warn y'all. Like, Hey man, if we not getting nothing for our vote, we're going to be destroyed. But y'all was so worried about right wing white supremacists coming with guns and stuff like that y'all was just like, we got to get Trump out of office. Trump out of office, now what? Look at us. This country is becoming a complete shithole. Billions is being sent over to Ukraine. Billions of dollars being sent over to Ukraine to house them, give them a pension. And we can't even get reparations. We can't even get reparations. We got billions of dollars going to Ukraine, and they're open Nazis as well. They was over there throwing up Nazi symbols over there in Ukraine, and they want us to support them so bad. That's not our fight over there. Need to worry about what's going on over here. And not only that, what they're doing, they're bringing all these migrants in to destroy the country from the inside out as well. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to destroy this country from the inside out. You already seen all the train derailments that they've been having. So they're having train derailments. They have all these explosions of toxic waste, contaminating the air, the water. A whole beef ranch exploded with a whole bunch of beef cattle. So they're attacking our water supply, our food supply, poisoning our earth. And now they bringing in these migrants just from all over the place. All over the place. They don't have any background check or anything like that. We don't know who these people are. And we already just have tons of homeless people wandering around in the streets, and there's no extra housing or benefits for them. So this is just a start of it. Let me check the comments. So who is this? Valiant Thor, 1725 years ago, Goths had invaded Rome territory looking for food, shelter, and a better life. The mismanagement of the Goths refugees started a chain of events that led to the collapse of one of the biggest political and military powers in humankind has ever known. Next, I can see an ET false flag coming pretty soon. The current narrative will lead to this and then to a stricter surveillance state, and then the sickness brought us. Yeah. And that's basically what's going on now. If we take a look at it, because the next thing I can see happening is a big civil war. And it's coming real soon. It's coming at the doorstep. Like it's coming very soon. So they using these migrants and all these other events going on as a way to completely dismantle this country. And as far as the ET flag, yes, I can most definitely see that as well. Ain't no telling what else they have planned. And I was actually going to talk about as far as like the surveillance and everything. I was going to talk about that in a different video. But yeah, that's the plan. And once they do this, they have this big civil war come out, and they have this false flag event. They're already about to roll this digital currency out, the central digital banking system. They're already finna roll that out. As you can see, like I said, I'm gonna talk about this in a different video, but the owner of Snapchat, they offed him. Crypto billionaires getting killed, and a lot of people are sounding very excited about this, saying, we're gonna have to switch to crypto. And what I'm trying to get across to people is that they're gonna be in complete control of this. They're trying to do it to where, as far as there being a decentralized currency, they're not gonna have that. They want everything to be monitored, and they want everything to be surveillanced. Um, what's the name of that law? The TikTok ban bill. I'm gonna have to look that up again, but I'm gonna talk about that in another video. But yeah, that's what they're pushing. They want to completely do complete surveillance of us. They want to have complete control of our devices soon, in the near future, after all this goes down. It's going to be to a point to where they're going to only let certain people use the internet. And in order to use the internet, you're going to have to comply with their rules. Says the surveillance is so insane that people actually knew there would be riots. When a brilliant mind has a thought in their brain with magical insight, that is world changing. A black budget world already knows we have technology at their level of spiral. Let that sink in. Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. So it's gonna be a complete digital dictatorship. And thanks for the like and the subscribe. You have a blessed day as well. You have a blessed day as well. But yeah, there's gonna be a complete digital dictatorship. And I plan on doing a series about that as well on here. It's going to be called Digital Dictatorship. And it's going to be talking about certain points of what they have planned as far as surveillance and how they're going to have complete control over everything. But yeah, this is all planned, and this is going to be detrimental for the black community. The black community is going to have to stick together. You're going to have to save your resources. As far as like the norm of what you would usually do, you're going to have to think outside the box. And I've been thinking about this for myself. Getting some land, and try not to get stuck to a mortgage or anything. Try not to get stuck to any type of big mortgage or anything. Try to think smaller as far as like doing tiny homes, starting to become self-sufficient to where you won't have to need a job because a economic collapse is coming. An economic collapse is coming, and it's coming fast. They're already saying that it's set to be a recession by the end of this year. So you have to start to prepare yourself when you see everything is going on right now. You're gonna have to completely prepare yourself to be self-sufficient because it's going to be to a certain point to where the government won't even intervene no more. There won't be no law enforcement intervening or anything. It's going to be complete haywire. I'm telling you, America is a boiling pot, especially with all these people coming in. They already don't like black people, and then you have people with different belief systems, different cultures, and some of them already don't like. A lot of them already don't like black people. None of them pretty much don't like black people. We have no allies, but even not just us in general. You just have all these different types of people, and they have certain animosity towards each other. It's not going to be enough resources to feed them. It's not going to be nowhere for them. Nowhere for them as far as shelter. Crime is going to rise in all the major cities. Watch, you're going to start to see crime explode. People are going to start getting robbed. There's going to be more murders. You've seen in Chicago where they're going and stealing all the food out and taking all the food out and everything. And not just Chicago. They was doing it in Philadelphia. Just a whole bunch of flash mobs just coming all over the place, just taking everything out of the stores. You're going to have more of that coming because it's going to get to the point to where people really have to do that because they don't have anything at home. And if you can get out the city, I suggest you get out the city. I suggest you arm up. I suggest you work together. Because that's most definitely my plan. Like I don't stay directly in the city, but I stay close enough. But I want to even get more, even farther out of the city, away from the city. And I'm trying to get to the point where I just don't really have to pay bills like that. I don't got to worry about anything getting repoed or somebody coming taking my property or anything. Because it's coming. And it's not looking good with all these people piling up. And hold on, let me show y'all let me show y'all another reason. Let's take a look at this. Hold on. Let me show y'all something real quick. Give me a few seconds. So this was the mass shooting in the Texas mall, right? Hold up. All right, I'm about to share this with y'all real quick. Hold up.
Jessica, investigators are looking at what the shooter posted online to see if he was motivated by right-wing extremism. We'll have more on that in just a minute. First, though, a little bit about some of the people who were killed at that shopping mall near Dallas. One of them was 20-year-old Christian LaCour. He worked as a security guard at the mall. His sister says he was a sweet, caring young man who was loved greatly by our family. His grandmother wrote on Facebook that he was such a beautiful soul. Also killed was 27-year-old Aishwarya Tatakonda. A relative tells a Dallas TV station that she was working as an engineer in Texas while her family was in India. Last night in Allen, Texas, the community where this tragedy happened, people gathered to mourn for the innocent people who lost their lives to a gunman with a semi-automatic weapon.
As the healing begins, we will recover. We will not let the actions of one individual impact our resolve. We will band together as a community and will emerge even stronger.
On a Saturday afternoon at the Allen Premium Outlet Mall, you could hear the sound of gunfire outside an H&M store, and people literally ran for their lives. A man wearing tactical gear and armed with an AR-15 style rifle was shooting people randomly. Hundreds of shoppers scrambled for cover or ran outside to find safety. When it was over, 8 people were dead and 7 more had to be taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds. It was the 200th mass shooting in the U.S. so far this year. An eyewitness named Stephen Spainhauer tried to help some of the victims.
I then found a 4 or 5-year-old calling out from under the other victims and started wandering around asking for help for his mama, and I took him to the side. He was the first victim I got out with a police officer assistance that showed up just a few seconds later.
Police officers who just happened to be at the mall for another reason responded to the shooting. They opened fire and killed the gunman, who, according to the Associated Press, is identified as 33-year-old Mauricio Garcia. The Associated Press, citing a law enforcement source, reports that federal agents are reviewing Garcia's social media accounts and that some of his posts expressed interest in white supremacist and neo-Nazi views. Garcia had a patch on his chest that read RWDS, which stands for Right Wing Death Squad. Investigators have searched a Dallas motel where Garcia had stayed recently. This latest mass shooting has reignited the debate over whether to enact tougher gun safety laws. President Biden says Republicans can't just react to the epidemic of mass shootings with a shrug. But Greg Abbott, the Republican governor of Texas, says more gun laws won't fix the problem of rising anger and violence in American society. Last night, the coach of the Dallas Stars hockey team spoke about the tragedy just before his team began its playoff game.
It's tough to think about games when you wake up to headlines like that, and we shop there. I mean, that's probably, and it's I don't have.
Okay, but yeah, y'all get the point. But yeah, man, that dude was he had a Hispanic background, but he identified as a neo-Nazi. And rest in peace to all the people who got killed in that mass shooting. But yeah, you're gonna have a lot of those people that come over here like that, because a lot of those people when they a lot of those people when they come over here, they already have a disdain for Black Americans. It's already indoctrinated in them. Like they train a lot of these immigrants that come over here. Like, hey, if you want that green card, you see them, we don't want you around them. So what they're going to do, they're going to use a lot of those people to undermine us. And that's dangerous for us, because you don't know what these people are thinking, and then you dumping them in our neighborhoods, and they have disdain for us in the same country that we built. In the same country that we built, they have disdain for us when we was the ones fought for them to get over here. Because they can come over here and consider themselves as white. They can integrate in with white society. And not only that, there's also an agenda as well to push gun control as well. They don't want us to bear arms. Especially if you're a Black man, they don't want you to bear no arms like that. They want you to be walking ducks. Because when everything goes down, in the Constitution where they said you had the right to have your own militias and the right to bear arms, that's what it's going to have to go back to. And I'm not saying go out and start anything to harm nobody or anything like that. I'm not saying that just because somebody is a certain group or a certain race that's what they're thinking, but you're going to have to protect yourself. You're going to have to think smart. Like dude said in the comments, he said he already said they did the same. They used the same strategy to destroy the Roman Empire, and that's what they're doing now. You destroy from the inside out. And with all this going on, guess who's going to take the brunt of all this? The Black community. Because we had the least amount of wealth. We don't stick together like we should. We don't have no actual communities. We don't have no Black enclaves. The China has Chinatown. If you look at the Mexicans, they have their own neighborhoods and everything, their own stores and things like that. The Arabs, they have their own gas stations and stores like this. So when everything hits the fan, they got some stocked up food and stuff. stocked up water. They have a community that they can go to if need be. See, the thing is, though, with black people, we don't have that. Because not only that, these people can go back to their country. Even the black immigrants, the Jamaicans, the Nigerians, the Haitians, they all have a country to fall back on. We don't have no country to fall back on. We don't. Because when shit hit the fan, well, where are we going to run to? Unless you start looking for dual citizenship or something like that, but we don't have nothing we can fall back on. So that's why we have to completely change the way we think. We got to change the way we do things. We need to start fasting. We need to be in shape. We need to start stocking up and canning food. If you can get away from the cities and your grandmothers or your grandparents had some type of land, put that land to use. Get you some tiny homes built. Tiny homes, the thing is, you and your family can put some money together. You can buy you one of them sheds cost about like 10 bands or something like that. And then you'll have to build it out and everything. That costs some money as well. But you won't be tied down to no big mortgage. They have it to where you can rent and own these sheds. So you pay you a little down payment on them, pay every month, and while that's going on, get you some supplies, start building the sheds up. You're gonna need some insulation and stuff like that. It's gonna take some thousands, but you're not gonna be tied down to a big mortgage, and pay that off as fast as you can, and then put some money together, get you another one. Keep doing that. Say within a couple years, you buy like 4 or 5 different tiny homes to where in case in an emergency, you have a family member that can go live there. You got a family member that can go live in this tiny home, or you can build you a whole community of tiny homes to where when this economic collapse kick off, if we have time, you'll have some place to stay. You ain't got to pay no rent. You ain't got to be worried about none of that. We gonna be hit the hardest. That's why black people, we gotta get to the point to where we completely self-sufficient. And I'm speaking to myself as well, and I'm trying to work on moves too. Even if you don't have a lot of money, there's some ways you can work with other people, some family members, put whatever little resources that you have together and get something going for yourself in the time of crisis. Because I feel it. It's right at the door. Like shit about to hit the fan real soon. I feel it. But yeah, and with that being said, that's why we need these reparations. And I wanted to talk about this as well, because basically it seems like Governor Newsom is reneging on the whole reparations So hold up, let me I'm gonna play this clip for y'all. And a lot of people like to say this because we're fighting for reparations. Reparations is old. We send billions of dollars of reparations to Israel every year. Send billion gave reparations to the slave owners, gave reparations to Japanese. They bombed Hiroshima. Hold up. Give me 1 second. Hold on, I'm trying to find that video. Okay, I'm gonna play this here in 1 second, y'all.
Wilson and Lisa, the governor's office and members of the task force are clearing up some confusion. Last night, Fox News reported Newsom wasn't willing to support reparations payment checks. Now, when we reached out to ask if that was a fair representation of the governor's message, the office last night did not deny the report. Then today, Newsom's senior advisor for communications told me the framing of that report was inaccurate and that the governor is still waiting for the task force to finish putting together their recommendations. That final report will be sent to the governor and legislature July 1st. In a statement, the governor said, in part, dealing with that legacy is about much more than cash payments. Following the task force's submission of its final report this summer, I look forward to a continued partnership with the legislature to advance systemic changes that ensure an inclusive and equitable future for all Californians. State Senator Stephen Bradford, who is also a member of the task force, said Californians should know reparations could come in a variety of forms and not necessarily in cash.
As far as the governor's statement, I think he's setting a realistic expectation that there probably won't be check payments in the tune of, or the amount that we've all heard bannered around for the last 2 years since we started this process. Again, I've tried to temper people's expectations that it might not be a check. And at many of the hearings, people say, where's my check?
The dollar figures we've heard and have been hearing from the task force has been its way of quantifying the level of harm done to Black Californians by the societal and government impacts of slavery. So Bradford noted reparations could come in the form of education, land, or housing, and that is just to name a few examples. They're still exploring and considering other possible ways.
Yeah, so once the recommendations are finally...
Okay, so that's bullshit to me. Sound like bullshit to me. Hold on 1 second. They saying, okay. So yeah, they're saying that it might not be cash payments, but it can come in the form of education, housing, or land. So what do they mean by that? Because first of all, that education thing, that's bullshit. What is education going to do if you don't have a economic base? Black women is one of the most educated women, but they they make the least amount of money. They're some of the most educated women, but they make the least amount of money because they don't have their own economic base. What is education going to do if you don't control who get the jobs? Yeah, you can be educated, but a lot of black people are locked out of the job market. And I'm talking about the job market to where like the actual career, where you can get an actual career. Like you'll see us on a lot of these lower level positions, but when it gets higher up, you don't see none of us like that. And that's not because we're educated, because I know a lot of black people that's educated, have engineering degrees, STEM degrees, and they can't get a job that's paying them proficiently or get that higher level position. So what is all this education going to do when we're locked out the job market? We don't have access to who gets the jobs. They're going to give a job to somebody that looks like them first, even if you are educated. And the land, let's get to the land. Okay, land, that sounds good, but what type of land? How much land? Where is this land going to be at? And how will we fund the building on this land without any type of cash payments? How are we going to fund this land? What if we want to build a house on the land? So I know y'all mentioned housing. So do we get like a free house or something? Tax free? No property tax, so we get a free land and free house? How does that work? I don't like the language that they're using for this. I don't like the land that they're using for this. The language that they're using, excuse me. So how is this going to work? I would need more specifics on that. To me, cash payments is the most straightforward, untaxed and uncontrolled. Cash payments, untaxed and uncontrolled. It don't necessarily have to be $1 million. I say the minimum 350,000. That would be a good minimum of cash payment. So 350,000 up to $1 million. If you can't do $1 million, you can always lessen it. I'll say 350,000 is enough to get you started somewhere. You can buy you a small piece of land somewhere. California is expensive, so it might have to be. It's probably gonna have to be higher. You can probably put a good down payment on a house somewhere, or just start you a business. Turn into, you can easily turn a $350,000 to a multi-million-dollar business if you do the right thing. Start small and grow it as you go. That's enough to start a business and and basically, create your own jobs. Start a small business. But you have a lot of people saying that we're begging When reparations is old, you can't beg for anything that's old. If every other group can get it, we can get it as well. And with that being said, we should also continue to build as well. Don't. I'm not saying don't 100% completely depend on it. You know, we should always continuously keep working on building something for the Black community, building within ourselves, building our own economic base, building our own communities. Which I said before, we should never stop doing that. We should always work towards that. But um we should keep fighting for reparations too. We got this far with it. Even if he do renege with it, that's just one state. We're starting the thing is we're setting a precedent. And if Gavin Newsom does renege on it, hit him up during election time. Hold that vote during election time. Make sure he don't get back in office. And one more thing, I will say this. This is another tactic they're using. This is why they bring in all them migrants in as well too, because to build a whole new voter class. They want to have a whole new voter class to where they don't have to depend on a Black American vote so much, so they can continue to do their benign neglect, because they know that these past few elections we've been on them. We've been saying we're going to hold our vote if you're not giving us nothing in return. They like, okay, well, we got something for that. We're gonna have a whole new voting class, and we won't need you at all. And that's why we were saying, hey, hold our vote. Let's really show them how much power we have, to where they have no choice but to listen to us. Because if Trump stayed in office, I doubt he would have let all these migrants come over. I doubt he would have did that. So man, we was telling y'all, and now y'all gonna see. So all I can say is get ready, get ready, get ready. But yeah, man, I've been on here for about an hour. Y'all have a good night. Got some more content coming soon. Like I said, I'm new with this live streaming thing. I had to work out some kinks, do a few test runs and everything. So I'm gonna continue to bring y'all some more content. Whenever I'm not busy, I'm gonna make sure I upload something. So y'all have a good night. Y'all stay blessed and y'all be safe out there. Peace.